The man working at a bank discovered something strange. He noticed that almost none of the customers withdrawing money ever cared about a 1-cent deduction from their accounts. It was this insignificant service charge that showed Jack the opportunity to get rich, because if it worked, he could become wealthy in a single night. Even though Jack was a humble clerk, but the bank he worked for had 9.5 million customers worldwide. Depending on the account type, the bank charged service fees almost daily. If he could take just 1 cent from each account and keep it, he would quickly become a millionaire, and no customer would suspect a thing. But the problem was, Jack was just a regular employee with no system access. However, he was skilled with computers. That night, Jack wrote a Trojan program, disguised it as a normal file, and sent it to the bank president. Then he quietly waited for the bait to be taken. Sure enough, the next day, when the president came to work, he habitually turned on his computer. Seeing what looked like a routine business email, he clicked it without hesitation. Jack successfully hacked into his computer, and even accidentally discovered his secret with his young assistant. But Jack didn't care about that. He began remote operations, and the Trojan quickly spread through the office, soon infecting the entire bank system. His real goal was to locate the administrator's computer, because only that machine had access to the bank servers. Soon, employees noticed the system had been compromised, which was part of Jack's plan. When the cybersecurity staff arrived, the first thing they needed to do was reboot the system, but that required entering a password. Jack easily captured the login password and successfully connected to the bank server. Next, he began deducting 1 cent from each of the 9.5 million customer accounts under the name of service fees. In just 1 minute, he made $95,000, but the money wasn't safe yet. To avoid leaving evidence, he needed to find a dormant corporate account and transfer all the money into it. After some work, Jack successfully made his first fortune without anyone noticing.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
But before he could celebrate, there was a knock at the door. It was debt collectors. Jack's father had accumulated massive gambling debts and was now critically ill in the hospital. The loan sharks had come to Jack to collect. Although Jack now had money, he didn't have cash on hand. If they caught him, he'd definitely be beaten. At that moment, 2 thugs broke down the door. Jack quickly ran to the balcony and jumped off the building. He wanted to escape on his motorcycle, but he suddenly realized he had left his keys at home. By then, the thugs were already chasing him. At that critical moment, he spotted a taxi and jumped in, handing the driver $1,000 and begging for help. The driver immediately understood after seeing the thugs, but the pursuers were relentless. They quickly caught up on motorcycles and even pulled out a gun to force the taxi to stop. The driver slammed the gas and drove into oncoming traffic. The thugs had to slow down to avoid crashing. It was clear that if he didn't repay the debt today, he'd be dead. But online transfers could be traced, and ATMs had withdrawal limits, so he had to go to a bank. Jack contacted a nearby bank, pretending to be an employee of a large company with urgent business, and asked them to prepare a large sum of cash. The teller said it would take some time. Meanwhile, the thugs were catching up again. The driver sped up and managed to shake them off temporarily. Soon, Jack arrived at the bank. Despite the urgency, he acted calm, but when he tried to withdraw the money, the teller asked for employee ID. Fortunately, Jack had prepared a fake badge, but the teller looked so serious that Jack thought he had been recognized. The next moment, the teller